Hi, I'm Chris Doré, co-founder and business development director of TriConnex. We're a multi-utility provider in the residential sector, and I am business development director responsible for feeding the business with new work, maintaining and monitoring on the market, and keeping in touch with our selected customers. TriConnex are unique because of their heritage. We come from the residential sector, from the infrastructure and groundworks world, and we were demanded by our customers to start a utility business. So we approached it solely with them in mind, which was a first. And we are protective of our residential developer customers. We don't get distracted with other work, industrial, commercial, or any other renewables or anything else that happens in utilities. And we also take responsibility for delivering our bit of the project, which is not normal in the utility world. We also decided to demystify a lot of what we do, and we've led the way in making our customers more informed of what they can expect out of utilities, what's available to them in utilities, and equally, and we'll touch on later, more the risks at the moment of how the sector is changing and what impact that makes on them. Undoubtedly, the biggest challenge in the house building industry that, from our perspective, is the race for electrical grid connections. The house building industry is disadvantaged in quite a large number of ways in this race when we're against electric vehicle charging, industrial commercial providers, renewable generators, all connecting to the same grid. And the treatment of all these applicants is being treated fairly, but due to the fact that residential developers have a very different planning process, very different funding process, complexity that others don't, there is a real challenge there, which is equal to, if not greater than planning, which, as we know, is saying something considering how bad planning is for residential. So the work we're doing from our perspective is solely around that. We appreciate that developers have got a huge amount of other things going on, but from our perspective, that is the biggest challenge. What we're doing to overcome it, and it is a work in progress because this is changing as we speak, and there's more changes coming in a number of weeks, and the issue will get worse over the next few years, is that we're focusing on our customers, making sure that we have a grid plan, a connection plan, a power plan, and we manage that right from the very first time that a site is being looked at as a potential development site, all the way through until such time as that's locked in and guaranteed. Because during that journey from original inception all the way through to, yes, we're going to get planning and we can progress, the ability to connect to the electrical grid can change dramatically, which could remove the ability for that site to be delivered for a number of years. And we're seeing delays in certain areas of 6 to 8 years, and that is increasing by the month. So we can't do it for everyone, and so we're very selective of who we want to work with, and it's people that obviously value what we do in terms of our contribution to their pipeline, technical backup, and everything else. But we are blessed to have a grid team in our sister company, eSmart Networks, who have a unique view on the network, and we can actually give real-time feedback to our customers. And there was a recent area in the southwest that we were informed in advance was going to be the next area where grid capacity was curtailed, and we were able to let developers know ahead of it even coming out of the distribution network operator, and so they can start making decisions on where to invest in their land with that in mind. And that is a huge part, and we're putting huge amounts of resources into that, and we're changing teams around to focus on that for our developers. As far as changes in the house building industry, it's a coherent strategy and to remove the political impact, using house building as a political tool. And I think as it stands at the moment, if you read any of the articles, the amount of changes in policy and hurdles that residential developers have to jump over to get a scheme off the ground, with nutrient neutrality, water neutrality, with planning, with various stealth taxes through 106 and SEAL. You've got grid constraints, you've got local plan, you've got our current, well, probably by the end of this sentence, our housing minister will be different. And, there is just no consistency and no coherence to the policy, our approach to net zero, skills gap. The entire thing is a mess of being pulled in very, very different directions. And I've got to say, it's a credit to our house building customers that can navigate through this maze at the moment, because it is relentless. So that's how I would see the house building changing, and it's very much the external reaction or impact that I would suggest would make the biggest difference. The future for TriConnex is fantastic. We've recently changed ownership, and we've moved back into private control, which is totally around growth and spreading the TriConnex brand further, giving us more control, which is where we are most successful, because part of our policy is to control as much of the approach, as much as the process as possible. We like to have the ability to say we will, and to say we will, they tend to be our designers, our jointers, our pipe fitters, our designers, our engineers. So the more control we get, the more investment we get, and the more customers we can offer the TriConnex service to, because we're currently limited to the Midlands, South West and South East. So we're going to be looking at some exciting opportunities around the rest of the UK, and further enhancing what TriConnex can bring.